Hi guys.
Hello people.
I'm Milena.
I'm Lola.
And we're watching Sopranos.
Episode 2.
How excited are you?
On the scale of 1 to 10?
Yes.
12.
Last episode was great.
I loved it. It was so fun.
We started this season and the first episode was amazing, and
Again, it was kind of like weird. Not weird, but just like it structurally different from other episodes because like you're looking at it through the point of view of basically the FBI.
Yeah.
And so like that's what made it different. I really enjoyed it. I like when like shows switch around a bit.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
So I really enjoyed it.
It did feel new and fresh. Let's say.
It kind of felt, the Sopranos have been, how do I say it, like dark. It started off lighthearted, not lightheartedly, but like, you know, as you learn more about Tony and like his relationship with his mother and sister, like things become like very dark because again, everything is very, there are a lot of things that I think can be very relatable in terms of like family dynamics and everything. Mm-hmm. And so like it gets very serious. And that can be a bit heavy. And so last episode was a nice change of pace because things didn't necessarily feel heavy. It was just like them trying to catch them, putting the bugs, like the music added to it. Like it was just like funny. Yeah, they did put a bug. So like I wonder if there's anything gonna come out of that.
I definitely think at some point something will come out. Maybe not of that, but like of this FBI investigation. I don't know if Tony's gonna get caught or is he not gonna get. Yeah. I mean, he's gonna get caught, but like if his lawyer is gonna be able to get him out of all of that because he has already been caught a few times. I also read a comment, but like I think I read that comment like also before because we didn't mention like was something of this like inspired or something like that. Like somebody wrote it like the Livia was inspired by
episode 12. Yeah. About with the creator's own mother.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Of course.
You cannot write this type of a character without like first-handedly having someone like that in your life.
Of course, it can be exaggerated or anything, you know.
I mean, like I'm sure their mother didn't try to kill them, I guess.
Exactly, that's what I want to say.
It doesn't matter, but just like the manipulation, the narcissism, it's there.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's so very palpable.
I wanted to say I loved it. I mean, I don't love that.
No, it's horrible, but...
It's just like maybe that's why it feels so real.
No, I mean, that's why I love like Livia's character.
Yeah.
I mean, hate the woman, but like love her character.
She's still... Again, I think that's gonna stay until the end. She's gonna stay one of my favorite characters of the
Absolutely.
show. Just because, like, we have had many villains, and I can't say I loved all of them, but like I did love some of them very much, and yet I have never met a villain like Livia. Yeah. Like I could say she's one of the worst ones for me, just because she's the mother of our character, and that is the things that like a mother is capable to do to their own, like her own son. Yeah, that's my mind cannot comprehend that. Mm-mm. So like if we see the like psychopath or this or that, this murderer, again, this one is the worst for me because it's their own mother. Yeah, you know, just like I have always said, even in like I'm changing the subject, but like Avatar: The Last Airbender, like we had Zuko's father, who I hated so much because he did that to his child. Yeah. So like whenever we have somebody, a parent being horrible to their child, that is the worst for me because that is the person who's supposed to love you the most. Yeah. And protect you, and yet you need protection from them. You know? Yeah,
I think one of the better shows that did that in the worst way possible, Mr. Robot. I can't even spoil anything, but like that was... Yeah. I don't even know how we came to this. This is always our intro to fucking Sopranos. But I don't know what this episode is going to be. I have no idea what the season is going to be in general. Maybe like it's a bit more focused on the FBI investigation because that's how we opened up. I have no clue. But I'm very excited to see. I mean, that'll be very interesting. Again, seeing police makes me just miss The Wire. And that's all I can tell you. Yeah. That's it. Let's play and let's see.
Let's see.
Yes.
Is that Janice? Oh my God, is she back? Cannot believe that, honestly.
Why would they spoil me like this?
Literally.
What? They did this for The Wire as well. What was it? We saw Ziggy holding a gun.
Yes, yeah. But like, did they... I sometimes forget what we thought.
I can't remember, but like we saw Ziggy holding a fucking gun.
Yeah. okay.
And so like I think
Yeah, okay. That
at least
it's
like
not
our
that
mind went somewhere.
It's not like that he had ever had a gun before.
Yeah, so like it was a bad thing.
Yeah, okay.
Proshai Livushka. That's Russian?
Sounds Russian, but...
This is two people who studied Russian for 8 years.
S Bogom zamko. Goodbye.
Trap?
Trap. Interesting.
Livushka.
That's not the word that we use for goodbye. Do svidanja.
Do svidanja.
Yes, privet and do
Do
svidanja. Those are two words that I knew.
Proshai, do svidanja. Again, I think it's very sad. So many fucking years we know nothing in Russian.
Yeah. The thing is, I knew I was never gonna use the language.
I was very lazy in languages because I was so spoiled by just knowing English because I watched shows. And I never learned English. And so I just refused to learn Russian for some reason because like it was not coming into my mind easily because I was not watching anything in Russian, you know? I know Spanish. I've never studied Spanish in my life. Why do I know Spanish? Because I watch shows in Spanish.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier to learn languages like that and all of that, but like, I even knew, in my opinion, Russian, like the grammar and things like that.
Yeah, you did. I did not.
Like, I always had straight A's. In Russian,
elementary school, they had A's because I joined the Russian choir because I knew there was no other way for me to get an A. And so our Russian teacher was our choir teacher and she preferred the choir. But so I always got A's because I was in the Russian choir. What was I singing? No one really knows, but I know so many Russian songs. My God. Well, at least everyone's alive.
I love how I didn't react. I feel like usually I would react to the sounds like this. And not
Second firebomb. Prosciutto. He fell with a jar of...
Well, was it a panic attack?
I think so. And a jar of like sauce. What was it?
Oh my God, Tony, are you all right?
Uncle Ben.
What happened?
Okay. Is Meadow's boyfriend?
This guy has no idea who Tony Soprano is. That's how it seems.
No, you and Meadow. Are you, a little early to say.
Interesting way to speak to parents.
Well, I feel like it...
You should kind of cower.
What I mean is, like, we're Italian.
Oh, my dad is Jewish and my mother's family is African American.
Mom. Right. What'd you check?
African American.
So we do understand each other. You're, Titsu.
Excuse me?
What's that?
Charcoal briquette. A moulignon.
What's your problem?
I think you know what my problem is. You see, your little friend up there, she didn't do you any favors bringing you into this house. Now, I don't know what the fuck she was thinking. We'll get to that later. And they don't want my son with their daughters, and I don't want their sons with mine.
Fuck you.
See, that's the kind of thing I'm hoping to avoid. So when my little girl comes down the stairs, you're going to say how nice it was to meet you. Then you're going to go drop her off at school, and you're going to say goodbye.
We're gonna drop my hunters. I want to meet Noah. Then we'll be back to pick up my laundry.
And this should not be shocking coming from Tony.
Yeah.
Uncle Ben.
Keep playing the race card. You're gonna drive her right into his arms.
If I cut off those fucking arms.
Stop it.
God.
Let me deal with it.
God, Meadow should have gone to California.
Hey, Ma.
Look who comes.
Well, actually, I'm standing in front of you. So, how's it
What do
going?
you mean, hey, Ma?
What do you care? Out of sight, out of mind. I wish the Lord would take me now.
Well, in the meantime.
She's going to finish baby journals from a long time ago. My idea.
How do we just like circle back into this?
Oh, yeah, I remember these. My mother gave you one of these for each of the kids when they were born. Supposed to fill these out. 20 years, five fucking nothing.
Now look here. I don't like that kind of talk.
Camille's my return.
Doesn't that look weird?
Yeah,
She
it
looks
looks like
weird.
It looks like she's not
You can't
here.
write stuff down from your life for your grandkids.
Like it's a
Yeah.
green screen, literally.
Yeah, you're too busy feeling sorry for yourself.
See?
Right, listen up.
Did the actress pass away?
I want you to concentrate. I know it's difficult.
Or was she not well enough?
Tickets.
It
This is
doesn't.
so weird.
It doesn't look like she's here, right?
No, maybe the actress passed away.
I
Never
didn't buy
say
some.
those tickets were stolen, capiche? Now, Barb will testify I didn't say it, but you gotta back her up.
I suppose I should have just kept my mouth shut.
Any kind of deal.
I think all of these lines that she said,
Yes.
she already said these lines.
You know, for a year, I didn't speak to you. Maybe I should have kept it that way. Fuck it, do what you want.
God, I'm very confused now.
Well, someone did say the actress passed away during the show. I just don't know, like, at what point.
Well, then maybe potentially she's gonna pass away in this episode.
Maybe. I mean, they're gonna...
They're just put the last scene somehow.
Did you say something to Noah?
You're smart. You'll keep walking down those stairs.
You did.
God, I'd be so mad. I would.
No, I mean, like, I would not speak to him. That would be it. The thing is, again, he's the downfall of his kids. Like, what, he wants the Meadow to end up with someone exactly the same like him? Poor fucking girl.
And my first thought, honestly, when I saw the guy was,
He's completely
God,
different.
he's so nice.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot believe that, like,
She's with
him right now.
And it's just triggering for him, like kids leaving the nest. Oh my god, what's happening?
What?
Is this intervention for
Like,
him?
maybe.
Oh, your mother died.
You kid. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Svetlana just called. She said that after dinner, your mother went upstairs to get ready for bed. When Svetlana came up, your mother was under the covers in her nightgown. Svetlana thought she was asleep.
Why?
I think because of the actress. Honestly.
I'm sorry, Dad. That your mom died.
Me too. And your grandmother loved you. She loved both you two. Very much.
God. I don't know, it's somehow different to me.
Those Granny remembers books you bought her when the kids were born. She never touched them.
What's your beef?
Asshole Robert Frost.
How am I supposed to know what this means?
There's two roads diverge in the woods. What?
Stopping by woods on a snowy evening.
What does it mean? Now turn in a close read by Mara.
What does it mean?
The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep.
What kind of horse has bells?
I don't know. Just give me the fucking answer so I can write this.
A horse that's pulling a sleigh.
I don't know.
Death.
I thought Black was dead.
He has miles to go before he sleeps.
Grandma?
What are you gonna do?
I'll call Janice.
Meet your Pozzarellis. I already called.
I didn't want any kind of service, Tony. No remembrance at all.
So we'll pick out a simple urn or whatever.
I'll see you there.
God, this is not the episode that I thought we were gonna get.
Means what?
God.
Goodbye, little Livia.
We all know how much you loved her. I can imagine how you feel. Yeah, well, what are you gonna do? I'm sorry, Tim. At least she didn't suffer. God.
I can't imagine what's going on in Tony's head.
What next?
I want the goddamn fucking bitch!
She was so awful. What do I tell my kids when their own aunt won't even come to a funeral?
Take it easy, I'll handle it.
And then he goes, you gotta work on Columbus Day weekend.
She has a son. You cannot just...
Ace Garage.
You're not coming to your own mother's fucking funeral?
I don't think she has to.
You may recall, Tony, that I have very good and valid reasons why I should not present myself in the state of New Jersey.
Oh, Jesus, that case is colder than your kid. All right, fuck it, I'll pay.
Can I bring my fiance?
Fuck that. One seat. Coach. Does Hopper's grandmother died? Him I'll pay for. Bring him down from Montreal. He is your son.
Hal is on the papers, Tony. He's, a street person.
Sorry, I didn't know.
See, you're not the only one with problems.
Wait, they didn't say it.
He's a street person.
What does it mean? And who was the person who was in the room with her?
I thought that's her son.
But she didn't say something like, can I bring my fiance? Did she say that?
She did. She did yes, fiance, but it's not her fiance. This is son, I guess.
I mean, I don't look at the guy.
I don't know how you mourn the death like of a mother that was awful to you.
I don't know. I want to see him in therapy now.
Oh, so sorry to hear. What are you gonna do?
It's the only thing he can say.
Yeah.
Oh no, she's gone.
Janice is just such a enigma. This is so good. Like, I can't fly down. Oh my gosh, she's dead.
Well, you see, she didn't want any service of any kind.
I find that hard to accept.
Well, I thought maybe we'd have a shindig at the house, after, so the grandkids could, I don't know.
I mean, I do know what Mom's wishes were, but not to have a wake or a funeral. It makes us look like we're unloving children, not to mention cheapskates.
Who gives a shit what it looks like? The woman expressed her wishes.
I wish to honor my mother.
There's a lot of things I could say right now that I'm not going to say.
When she was young, she used to picture her funeral.
All right, fine. You want to do something? Let's just do it. Let's just stop talking about it. Cause
I don't know, like is Janice doing this as the like a last bit of revenge to her mom, like not following wishes?
Yes.
Shit, here we go. I think he has to be like
No, I'm sorry.
half relieved
My
and half
condolences. Nothing.
in the morning because like she was so awful and there's no chance
Actually,
for
that's good.
her to repay that.
It's a relief. You're not saying nothing. You want to know the truth. Everybody else all bullshit. I'm glad she's dead. Not just glad. I wished she'd die. Wished.
How do you feel about the fact that your own mother would have testified against you?
Oh, come on. Will you listen to yourself? Is that right? Wishing her dead? Is that being a good son?
A good son?
Yeah, a good son. That's a fucking miserable, disgusting thing to be, a bad son. I mean, your kid up above. He better be a good son, right? You know what, you're right. Why the fuck should I be a good son to that fucking demented old bat, that fucking selfish, miserable cunt? She ruined my father's life. Oh, yeah.
But he wasn't her son. What did she do to you?
Come on, that's a matter of public record in here. We both know.
You don't like to say it, do you?
Who knows if she even knew what she was doing?
You're letting her off.
Uncle denies it, that she took part.
Your uncle loves you.
I never said he didn't.
Grown children often secretly wish for an aged parent to die. And it's not necessary for the parent to be a witness for the prosecution.
So we're probably done here, right? She's dead.
What's happening? Tony Soprano's mother's wake is tonight. Want me to wear a wire?
Is everyone a fucking is that Junior's lawyer? Who is he again?
A lawyer, I don't know.
I can't remember. Like, I know his face, I just don't remember what exactly he is. What the fuck is she doing?
Yes.
She's looking like the house. What faults she can.
Hey. Mama wanted
Where
to post
potentially money
hospital.
can be.
Can I check it?
My shrink says that all women are not cut out to be martyrs.
Is that a slam at me? None of my childhood schoolwork or artwork or anything for that matter is here anymore, nor Barb's. Anthony Soprano. 7th grade, Mr. Martino. I had him. Well, take a look. She only saved yours.
What are you talking about? His Barbara's communion certificate?
Nothing of mine. When everybody agreed that I had extraordinary visualization skills.
What a fucking blow.
Not you, too.
I'm serious. My dad's very ill, too.
Thanks for coming.
He's very sweet.
Yeah.
They're dropping like fucking flies.
It's all that charcoal broiled meat you people ate.
Nobody told us till the 80s.
I'm kidding you, you old fuck. What's the matter with you?
What do you want?
I'm hoping that we can use this sad occasion to put bitterness and sore-headed feelings aside.
Behave how Tony wants. I don't want to add to his stress.
Joe Zachary? Yeah?
Oh boy! No fire! Tony doesn't want any fire.
The Lord lift up his countenance upon her and give her peace.
Anyway, we're not going to be needing your services anymore, obviously. I'll be moving into the house. So if you could just get your stuff out of there by this weekend, I think that would be good.
I stay there only during week when my fiancé has his children with him.
See, Tony should have consulted me first. I'm going to be living at 55 Benedict while we deal with the estate. My mom had this kind of extensive record collection. Do you know where they are?
She gave to me those records.
This is just about you bogarting those discs for your ass. They're worth a fortune to the right collector.
I will not answer such here.
I want the entire discography back at the house by this weekend.
it up. She's already becoming a robot. The rest of us.
I'm so sorry about your grandma.
At least she didn't suffer.
Our innocence is gone.
Comes to that point in the service where the rabbi is supposed to extol the virtues of the deceased. The rabbi says, "Alas, I did not know this man. I'm new here. You all know him. You say something good about him." Dead silence. Goes on for about a minute, 2 minutes. Finally, a voice from the back. His brother was worse.
This is a survival show. Somebody should find the winner, stick a pistol in the face, and say, "You're not gonna survive this unless you give me 25% of that fucking $1 million."
That's not bad. And we can find out where they live.
Everyone, please, may I have your attention?
God.
Most of you will probably remember that this was her favorite song. I thought it might help us get over.
God. God.
Herman? Rapture?
I'm gonna say her sister was worse. Does anyone have anything to say?
You two went back, almost to the pyramids?
I guess what struck me most was she had mince words. Between brain and mouth, there was no interlocutor.
Who's the person who went upstairs?
I don't know. I thought it was just like some guy that was like, I'm not gonna be in this. Like he was in the bathroom. That's what I thought.
I thought it's maybe the guy who is spying. You know, who is
Maybe,
the...
maybe.
I don't know what to say.
Literally.
No, I can speak.
She was my best friend.
I was like, who are you?
If anybody died or was in the hospital, I could be sure I'd get a call from Lee letting me know.
Is that the person she ran over?
Really?
Didn't she run over her friend?
Thank you, Fanny.
Remember in episode like, I can't remember the name. Like, didn't she run over the episode
She
3?
did, but like I thought that when she said in the hospital, I thought that they went to the that they lived together in the Green Grove, whatever the name is.
When I was a child, my mother didn't let me rest on those laurels.
God.
She didn't flatter me. She believed that wildflowers blossom best among the rocks. Little water. She was tough. But she was right.
I hear she didn't suffer. For that, we can be grateful.
They say there's no two people on earth exactly the same.
But do they know that for sure? Because they would have to get everybody together in one
He's
huge
high.
space. And obviously that's not possible, even with
Look at her.
But not only that, they'd have to get all the people who ever lived. So they got no proof. They got nothing.
So tell him she's dead. What? I guess our little secret dies with her.
Hey, pick that up! Everybody's in there telling stories of her. I got a view.
Artie, don't talk about that.
Mrs. Soprano may have passed, but who's to say there isn't another Mrs. Soprano just like her? Or will be. Maybe not with the same fears and paranoia, but what I'm saying is...
No, I'm very thankful for him for making this a lighter. Like, this episode is very difficult.
This is such a crock of shit.
Camilla.
I'm sitting here thinking I should protect my children from the truth about their grandmother on the one hand. On the other, I'm saying to myself, what kind of example am I setting over a woman that we all know was terribly dysfunctional, who spread no cheer at all?
Camilla, be quiet.
This is my house.
I'm leaving.
Let her talk, goddammit. No, I'll speak if I want. Goddammit, who are you? Minister of Propaganda? We suffered for years under the yoke of that woman. Years.
Hear, hear.
From beyond the grave, even. This is a woman who didn't want a funeral. You all, her children, you ignored her wishes. Only after she's dead, by the way. She didn't want a funeral. She didn't want a remembrance of any kind. What? She didn't think anybody would come. She wouldn't write down her memories for her grandchildren because she figured nobody loved her enough to read them.
God.
No, Tommy boy. You're my baby. You're going to get well and strong. All of us together again. Oh, I'm almost glad this happened.
Fine. Look, they're bringing Tom home.
They are when?
Right now, he's on his way.
Oh, it's wonderful. I'll get his room ready. I knew my baby would come home.
God. God.
Remember he tried to strangle her with a pillow?
God.
I don't know what's happening. I think this episode's so hard. It was so, I don't know, it's so exhausting for me.
Where to even start, honestly?
I don't know why this episode hit me hard. Like, I didn't expect it. Like, this last scene, you didn't even see me. I was trying so hard. I was about to start sobbing. Like, I was literally
I saw.
Tears are falling.
Yeah.
I was about to start sobbing.
Yeah.
I don't know. This really hit me. This was a very difficult episode for me.
Honestly, I loved this episode.
This was so great.
I really loved it. Like, I want to say I enjoyed it.
I know.
I can't say I enjoyed it just because of of what the thematics was. Like, imagine me saying I enjoyed it and you bawled your eyes next to me, you know.
I mean, I enjoyed it as well.
But like I think it was done very good.
I think I don't know if you feel the same way, but the way they did it, Carmela and the kids told Tony that she's dead, and then everyone's coming to the house and things are somehow quiet. I don't know. It placed you in that position when a loved one does die. I felt like I was in that moment. We're old enough to have been in those moments when loved ones passed away, and so you go through the motions of getting the body taken away and having people over and not knowing what to do, not knowing what to say, not knowing how to be or act, and I don't know, I feel just putting me in that mindset to begin the episode immediately for me felt heavy. And then I'm looking at Tony through this entire episode, just thinking what the complicated feelings that he has to be going through, that I don't even know where I would start to unpack this. I never had to unpack anything like that in my life, thankfully. On the one hand, his mother has died, and so he feels, let's say, relief, because she was this awful woman and she was such a toxic presence in his life, and so he feels relieved. At the same time, he feels guilty that he feels relieved. And then on the other hand, he also is mourning his mother. Not necessarily the way that she was, but what she never was. Which is this loving mother. But now that she is gone, you will never get that. I mean, you're never gonna get closure regardless, you know? But now that she is dead, that is really... You will never have anything to get from her ever again. Whatever you needed, was it closure? Was it proof that she loved you and cared?
I mean, he never could have gotten anything like that from her. And I think all of those things were hard things to accept, are hard things to accept. Yeah. I don't even know, we know from Tony, it's very hard to process. I don't know how you do at all to process things like that. And it's hard to process losing a loved one, let alone mother who tried to kill you and who was very horrible to you through your entire life. Again, no matter how horrible your mother is, she is still your mother. And I think for children, it's sometimes very hard to process when their mother is not who they're supposed to be to them. When they're this horrible person. And he was raised in such a way that like he feels guilt for not being a good son. And in the same sentence, like when he's talking to Malfi, he is feeling guilt, and you see the guilt coming from him. And then he says like, why should I supposed to be a good son, you know?
Yeah,
like when she was this horrible
there's always
person
that anger
to me.
in him.
Like I like, it's so fascinating to me, the mix of emotion that he went through, and he's constantly going through this entire episode. I think that was the most interesting part to me. Like, yeah, I was very interested to see what's coming next, you know. And honestly, I was waiting for that moment when he's gonna start crying.
Yeah,
I was waiting for him to break down. And again, I don't even know why he would. Like, I can't. Is it the sadness that she never was who she was supposed to be? Is it the sadness that she's dead? Is it like, I have a feeling like millions of those things like combined, you know? It just grief, let's say.
I think the movie that he was watching sort of maybe answered that question, because like on screen you see this mother that's very loving towards her son. And
who's called Tommy.
Yeah, like she is awaiting his arrival, like she's taking care of him, and like the person on the screen is the complete opposite of like what Livia was. And at that point, that's when like Tony finally breaks down. So like I just think it's that grief that she never was that type of a mother, and now she's dead, and so she will never get to make amends to him. Like things will never get better. Like again, that was never an option, you know, like that really was never an option. But just like when a person dies, then you have to, then that book
then you
is
have to
closed.
then you have to come to terms that it's done.
Yeah,
that you're never gonna get anything more.
So now we're done with therapy.
Yeah,
boy, the therapy should only even just be beginning.
Literally.
For you right
Somebody
now.
would just start the therapy right now to
Literally.
deal with the things that I don't even know how you deal with.
I'm literally like not sure. Like I can only imagine the confusion in having to work through that, because like again, I think it's easy for everyone outside to say she was a horrible mother. Like you don't have to mourn her. Like when Janice didn't want to come to the funeral, I was like, she doesn't. At no point is she obligated to come to a funeral.
Janice's feelings are enigma to me.
Like Janice is. I feel like again, Janice is very cool. Like Janice doesn't seem to be feeling at all.
Yeah.
And again, this is not like Livia was an awful mother.
Yeah.
And I don't think she is owed anything by her children. Janice didn't have to come to the funeral. She didn't have to do any of this. She didn't have to like honor her mother. None of that. I don't think any of that was required of her, considering how she grew up. It doesn't matter that she was your mother. That holds no meaning should hold no meaning to anyone.
But that's much easier said than done.
I absolutely agree, which is like why her reaction, you know, is very, let's say, cold, because she went there and just wanted to play this part, you know, for I don't know how to call it.
But how did you take the thing when she said about her mother is not saving any paintings that she done, any art?
Well, I mean, she holds a lot of resentment towards Livia, which is
because
again,
like I would say that's not
understandable.
cold. I would say those are emotions.
Absolutely. I think those are emotions. The thing is like the emotions that we see. I mean, so far, again, I don't know. Like we see anger, but not the way that we see anger in Tony.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a different type of
Everything
anger,
is
because
different.
like Tony's anger is combined with sadness, and Janice's anger to me seems just like anger. I don't necessarily see sadness, even though like you would assume that there is. It's just like it seems like she is a more.
I still don't know.
I don't know how to call it.
That's why I say like she's an enigma, at least to me, because like I'm wondering, does she also have some type of narcissistic?
She seems
something,
to
you know,
have it,
because like then that would explain some emotions, you know, like she's different than Tony, that's for sure, and she's different than Barbara, that's for sure, you know, because like again, all we saw were, in this episode until that moment was her playing a part.
Yeah.
Basically. Was her playing a part when she pretended to cry, when she hugged Carmela. Later, even in that scene with Tony, when she was in, I think, basement of the mother's house. And she was, I think, looking to see if she hidden money in the walls or something, you know, because we know she thinks mom's hidden some money, you know?
Yeah.
And when Tony came in, she ran away to the...
Pretended to look at, like, memorabilia, whatever.
But, like, she already knew that there weren't any artwork or any memories of her as a child, or Barbara either, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, she already, when she was down, she already went through those.
Yeah.
And she knew that there is only 2 things from Barbara that were saved, and that's it.
Yeah.
And the rest was from Tony, was Tony's, which is also, in my opinion, interesting. And then later, I love that Carmela mentioned that, like, Livia didn't want any funeral, and yet her children made that one for her after she died. She even said that they did it. They managed to not
honor
her wishes, but like after she died, because when
like
she was alive, like they could have never said anything to her, you know?
Yeah.
And even then, like making this whole thing where everybody has to say something about her mom, did she know that nobody's gonna have anything nice to say?
Like Janice did, I don't know how to, like, performance art. Like she was trying to play a part of a grieving family. Oh, let's gather and, like, let's say something, let's play this song. Like, it felt so awkward, you know? And she's just trying to...
And the guy who came down, I mean, I guess it was not because, like, in that moment I was thinking, is that or is he...
going to search something? No, I honestly thought, like, someone went to the bathroom, started
That'd
coming...
be so me.
coming downstairs, like, saw what was happening. It was like, I'm gonna go back
That
home.
would be so me, honestly. I would be...
Like, the thing is, there were so many funny things in this episode, actually, but I just, like, everything was like, very heavy to me that, like, I couldn't necessarily laugh, but, like, I thought in my mind, this is funny.
I think
like, Chris was hilarious.
Yeah.
Chris was really hilarious, but, again, everything to me was just very difficult in this episode.
I don't know. I really loved and I enjoyed the mix. Awkwardness, sadness, and also like comedy in it, because like we had many scenes where somebody is talking some you know, like bullshit or like something dumb that's like, you know what I mean, like Chris, who is completely high on drugs, and Adriana's with him next to him as well, like, and him saying
no 2 people are the same, but how do you
know? Did you
have
put
to bring all of them? What about the dead people?
The truth is, at one point it's gonna come, somebody's gonna be the same as you, the same as Livia.
Look, he kind of has a point.
I agree.
You
only got to those points where you're high, I guess.
Absolutely. Like, yes. Again, like, Janice just, like, put on this performance, like, she's trying to, I don't know, enter this life. Like, she's gonna move into this house now, and she's gonna try to play this role of Jan Soprano. I don't know. Everything feels very, like, calculated, and it felt like when she was saying that, like, they have to have a funeral. Like, I thought at that moment that that's some type of, like, revenge after that, like, just, like, not listening to her mother's wishes, because, like, why would you honor that? Your mother, like, didn't honor anything about you. Like, Barbara as well, I just think she thought it would be, funerals are for the living ones. Like, when you die, the funerals are for people that, like, loved you to gather together. It's not about that one. And, like, I think Barbara just, like, thought it would be, I guess, nice for all of us to be together. And I think Tony was coming from that place as well, even though, like, he was saying something like it would be nice for the kids or whatever. But, like, I thought, like, he would also maybe, like, search somewhere for some closure. Again, I just think they were coming from different places. I don't know Janice enough to be able to tell you anything with certainty. But, like, it does seem that she has some type of, like, narcissistic tendencies that Livia also did have.
Again, I think she is still a mystery. I mean, I'm not saying a mystery, like, it's just like that. I think we don't know enough and I'm interested to find out more.
Yeah,
and
me
I
too.
guess now that she's back, we're gonna find out more, honestly.
Yeah.
And I am excited about that.
Oh no, I'm so excited for her character.
Oh.
What I also loved in this episode is that, like, again, the feeling of it felt very, like, haunting. Like, there was a scene of AJ, like, when he is studying in his room and everything, and, like, he sees something, he hears something, and, like, he like, says grandma. Because, like, I mean, that's, you're a kid, and, like, your grandma just died, and, like, you think, no, she is coming as a ghost. But, like, I just think it serves to show, like, what a presence she is still gonna be, even though she is not here. Like, she was not here in season 2, but, like, everything that we are watching is the direct result of her. Like, in this season, the next season, the last season, whatever, like, I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of Janice and, like, her and Tony's relationship. And all of that exists because of Livia. Because, like, she was such an awful presence in their life and has made them this way. And so, like, she is forever gonna be haunting this show. She doesn't have to be in it.
I mean,
for her
I love
to be
how
haunting it.
just before the episode,
Literally,
talked
how
about
did we-
Livia. I mean, it's not the first time we talked about
We
Livia
always talk about Livia.
a lot of times, but like before the episode, we talked how great a character she was.
No, like, literally, like, when this is all said and done, we haven't even seen half of the show. Like, there's, I'm sure, so many characters to come, but she is gonna be one of the things that I take away most from this show.
But like, I feel like I literally said that before the episode.
Literally.
You know, I feel like we felt it coming. You know, even though
it's so interesting.
it didn't cross my mind. Like, I didn't think she's gonna again, because we did know that actress died, so like that's why we lost, let's say, Livia. But like, that's why we had her so little in season 2. You know, we had her here and there. So like, I expected to continue having her from time to time, you know, in season 3. But like, now it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like the second that you saw the scene being like they did what they could with that, you know, but like, it was clearly, I mean, this is 2000s.
Yeah.
And they did what they could with that. Like, you immediately feel like the actress is probably passed away, which is like very sad. She did such a phenomenal job in this show. Again, like, this show is revered, like, all across the world, even now. Like, if you ask anyone what their favorite show is, like, I feel like 8 times out of 10 someone's gonna say The Sopranos. Like, I know so many people. Like, I was in my hair salon yesterday, and like, the guy that does my hair was like, Sopranos my favorite show. Like, it is such a classic, everyone knows it. And she has played such an important role, and I'm very glad that, like, I guess before she passed away, that she left such a legacy. Like, what a character Livia is. Like, she played her so well. Like, she played her so well that, again,
I mean, perfect.
At
like,
so many points you get triggered by the things that she says, because like, it sounds like something you have heard.
I mean, because at one point she really does seem just like everybody's grandma.
Literally.
Like, and the way she was with her grandchildren, it just seemed that way, you know?
Yeah.
And at one point you see completely different personality of hers, and you get terrified.
Yeah.
Like, when she looked at Tony, who fell down and laughed at him. Like, you get so shocked.
Yeah.
Like, beyond any words, honestly.
Yeah.
So, like I said, like, definitely she's gonna... at the end of, even after we finish this show, I think she's still gonna be one of my favorite characters, just because of how, like, impactful that is. No matter how Janice is, let's say, she can be an amazing character. And like, again, I can feel completely different than Livia, because at the same time we know who her mother is. Yeah. So like, that's always gonna have, just like it has with Tony, because like, just in the beginning of this episode, he was horrible to the kid who didn't deserve it, you know?
He was racist.
He was literally racist. And like, second before that, when he fell, I wanted to say how I feel bad for him. And then he was horrible to that kid, and I wanted to say how I don't feel bad for him at all, you know? And then we had the whole episode of his mother dying and all these emotions who make Tony who he is, you know?
Yeah.
And again, I felt bad for that part. And that's similar with Janice. It's just that like we don't know Janice much. We, again, still didn't have her. I would love to explore her character. But no matter how...
looking forward to that so much.
Yeah, but no matter how horrible she's gonna be to Tony or whatever she's gonna do, somehow to me it's always gonna be worse being horrible to the person you give birth to.
Literally,
you know? Like nothing can compare to that for me. You know?
Absolutely.
So that's always gonna be, she's always gonna be a fucking fascinating character.
Yeah.
And I also did love how the episode felt very real. Like you said, it put you in the moment because like you maybe get reminded of the funeral you have been in or like a loved one you have lost or something. But like again, just like in my opinion, any funeral as well, like you are there with the people who you love and who love you. And like you at the same time talk about some unimportant subjects, you know, and like laugh, and like everybody deals with it differently. And like I think that was well represented, honestly.
Yeah, I think like at some point, somehow in every funeral that I have attended, funerals for grandparents, like they're very, like I'm heartbroken, but you know, like all my grandparents died in their 90s. It is sort of expected. We also had a funeral for like one of our friends who died very young, but like at some point in every one of those funerals, like I think just someone starts saying something funny about someone that has passed away, and then you start reminiscing, and like those parts always made me feel very happy. I don't know, just like standing there and saying, oh, remember how they did this dumb thing and like how they were funny and that. I think it's nice remembering people.
I think so as well.
And the best moments. For Livia, unfortunately, there was not much to talk about.
Yeah. And
but
I loved what Carmela said.
Carmela got drunk and she was like, I am not gonna stand for this at all. Like, she was horrible. Let's all stop pretending that she was not horrible.
And she knew that she was fucking horrible. That's why she didn't want any funeral, because she knew this exactly thing would happen. First, she thought that like nobody would come, but like we are all here for, let's say, Tony or her grandchildren, or Carmela. Her parents are here as well, you know? Like, we are all here for somebody we love, not Livia per se, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why she didn't want a funeral. Nobody would have anything nice to say about her. She was aware that she was horrible, and that's just it.
One more thing that like I want to talk about, that I think it's, again, she saved Tony's things, and like I wonder, just like for the show, are we gonna go into that, like what we always talked in season 1, what we're gonna get with Tony eventually, like when she passes away? Is he gonna want to remember things better than they were? Like in terms of like lying to himself, like is he gonna start saying the things that his mother said about his father, like, oh, he was a saint?
Yeah.
Like at some point eventually, is he gonna, like, if, I don't know, Carmela says something like, oh, your mother was like awful or whatever, is he gonna want to rewrite history in a way?
I mean, I can definitely see that happening,
because I think that's how people will deal with that.
I understand. Yes, we also had that moment like with when he was at funeral, and he did say something along those lines.
Yeah.
Not exactly like that, but like then Malfi started talking.
Yeah.
And saying what she actually tried to do. And he said, we all know here what she tried to do. We're not gonna pretend it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. The thing is, like, that is something that, like, I would definitely expect to happen.
Me too.
You know? It's just that, like, I also think he's going to therapy.
Yeah.
And dealing with all of this. So, like, I don't know exactly in which direction the show is gonna...
I don't know, but I'm, like, very excited to see...
I would not expect Malfi to accept that. Maybe at the end of a show, we're gonna see... I don't know if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Maybe while he's dealing with something, you know?
Yeah.
While he's trying to deal with his attacks and panic and, like, everything, you know? He's not gonna say anything. He's gonna always be reminded, either by Malfi or Carmela or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
But then when, let's say, he stops going to therapy and he hasn't dealt with anything because like he's gonna lose his family and it's all gonna go to shit, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe at that point we see actually something like that because he's not gonna deal with all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I really don't know where the show is gonna go with that.
I don't know. And again, I think that's a fascinating bit. Like even in like the finale of season 2, like someone also pointed that out in our comments. I didn't necessarily think about it, but like how similar Tony was in that episode, like when he was feeling bad and the things that he was saying, like, oh, just like leave me, or everything is horrible, everything is bad, like how reminiscing of Livia that is.
I thought that.
And
I did think that, like, I don't know if I thought that while watching or like while editing, you know.
Yeah.
It's just that like I in the moment when Tony said that, he was heavily in anxiety mode, like depressed mode. So I don't know.
I mean, I think Livia also suffered with depression her whole life. The thing that is not, like, she's just not dealt with it. Like, she wasn't born a horrible person. She became this over a period of time. And like maybe Tony is going down that same route. I don't know. I just think that's going to be an interesting storyline for this whole show.
Yeah, I agree. Just because, like, I don't... the fact that he's going to therapy and trying to deal with it says something, but not a lot if he does not succeed.
I agree.
In dealing with anything. Like, we can see ups and downs with therapy, you know? Like, he's definitely on the in the completely different moment than he was in episode 1, you know, because he understands his emotions much better, he analyzes some things much better. At the same time, the things that like he's been through, it's impossible sometimes to deal with, especially continuing working like, the job he's working.
Cannot just like help you if you don't put in the work yourself, you know, and like...
Again, I think especially with the job that he's working.
Especially with that.
We're going to watch now the second episode.
Which is actually going to be easier than this.
I think so as well. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye.